2020 is coming to an end, and the holiday season is already here. Due to the pandemic, many families are going to be celebrating, unfortunately, alone. And that, of course, can create many emotions of sadness, loneliness, especially, by the way, for children.
Yeah, however, it doesn't have to feel lonely. This is a great opportunity to start some new traditions. Maybe that's a good way to look at it. Dr. Regine Maradian joins us now with some creative tips that you can do as a parent. Doctor, good morning to you. Thank you so much for being here, especially on this Christmas Eve. And what an important conversation to be having. So let's start off with dealing with the disappointment. I think everybody can relate to this one because we're not going anywhere, right? So things are very different. So start off with that.
Yeah, so many of us are dealing with a tough decision this year, I think, of not seeing family during the holiday season. And kids are definitely, they're sad, they're disappointed, and this is such a special time for them that we all look forward to during the year. And I think it's really important to help our children and take this opportunity to help them understand that staying home this year, you know, we're protecting family and extended family and grandparents. And this is really an example of putting others' needs before our own. So having that conversation with them is really important.
All right, and are there specific things that people can do to deal with that kind of disappointment?
Yes. So there are quite a few tips that I have been recommending, and even talking to my own kids as this currently happened in our family as well, is number one, allowing them to express their sadness, their anger, frustration. I think it's important as a parent that we don't dismiss or minimize their feelings, because this is really an opportunity also for kids to share their emotions, and parents can now create a conversation around this discomfort of how they're feeling. Number two, listening and hearing their frustrations and validating them at the same time, and not being dismissive is important. So even saying something like, I can understand how you feel and how sad the situation is, but let's create some new traditions. And for the younger ones, using drawings to help communicate their emotions and having them explain the drawing. And that's another helpful tool, because children can deal with grief and upset differently than we do as adults, and they may appear withdrawn or isolated or angry or frustrated. So it's really important to engage them, especially during these hard times, that it's so hard for them to understand why things are not the same this year.
Yeah, oftentimes communication is really the key to just about everything, because after a good, hearty conversation, you can start to feel better. Doctor, do you have any tips as far as how parents can really get creative with their kids in starting some of these new traditions and what they can do, some ideas?
Yes, so this is actually something I was doing actually last week, as we found out in our own family that plans were changing. And I found this really helpful, and some other tips as well. So sitting down with them and start jotting down some creative ideas together. And this kind of gives them some sort of control over a situation right now where we don't have much control over. So some examples could be finding some fun recipes, baking together, encouraging them to make things, and just be creative and giving them really that power to be in control. Another suggestion could be, like today for Christmas Eve and tomorrow for Christmas, creating a FaceTime schedule with family where they can talk to cousins and family. And it could be also opening gifts together. Yeah. Whatever it is that parents can find encouraging for them. I also love the piece of donating a gift to charity for children in need, and making this year very meaningful for them. Making a list of movies that you can watch together could be really fun, with their favorite snacks. Kids really love that, just getting together on the floor, being together as a family in your PJs. And ultimately reminding them that this is only a moment in time, and that there will be many other holidays that will all be together.
Yeah, I think that's really important, and I think those tips would also work, because a lot of families are having financial difficulties. Right. People have lost their jobs. Maybe they can't even afford toys or presents, and some of these tips that you're giving, I think, emphasize the importance of family and being together. And if you emphasize that, children will follow your lead, won't they?
Yes, yes. And I think that's important this year, is that we're just a lot of us, I mean, this has been a really tough year for many with COVID. Some families have lost family members, loved ones, friends, and just for us to sit down and reflect and be grateful for what we have this year, just being together, and and helping one another.
Wow. Yeah, I love that. And, you know, the FaceTime schedules, I really took that. I really took that away from this whole conversation because I think we can all look forward to that. It's just something that makes us feel better, right? Just talking with our family and connecting with them. Dr. Mouradian, thank you so much for joining us. Merry Christmas Eve to you and your family. We hope you have a special one, all things considered. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you as well.